on the Blue Ribbon Committee. Senator Pia Cayetano is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I was in UP in the 1980s, and like every UP student, we know the name Rene Sagisag. I was not even in law school yet when we would hear about the fights that he took upon himself, and obviously during those times, Mr. President, there were many opportunities for students to look up to men and women that they could admire and emulate. And then I became a law student, Mr. President, and the more I had a deeper understanding of the kind of work that men like Rene Sagisag did, men and women like Rene Sagisag. He used his knowledge of the law to protect the oppressed. In fact, Mr. President, his family, one of his family members was quoted as saying, he used his knowledge, he used his expertise in the law as a means to serve the poor and the disenfranchised. Mr. President, I'm reminded of a biblical passage actually invested what he was given by his master, and he was able to return tenfold the talents or money that his master left him. The second servant was able to return fivefold what his master left him. But the third servant said, I was scared and I buried what I was given. So as a child, I always wondered, ano ba yun? Di ba dapat itago mo nga, i-preserve mo yung binigay sa'yo? But as I got older, I learned that what this parable really meant is that we are supposed to use the talents that God gave us. And so I was reminded of this when I learned about the death of the former senator and heard the words that his family left, that he used his talent to help the oppressed. Mr. President, we in the Senate are all given an opportunity to use our talents for the Filipino people. And we look at the men and women who were senators before us. Rene Sagisag was a senator in 1987 to 1992. That's about the time I and the minority floor leader were in law school. And I never had a chance to work with him. But when I became a senator, in my late 30s, I then met him, and I was so surprised because, like, the image I had of him was a feisty, matapang, matalino, walang takot, and kasama syempre dun sa matalino, mayabang, kasi you have to believe in yourself, you have to have the courage and the confidence that you believe in what you're fighting for. But when I met him, and I met him many, many times, he was always so kind and humble. And I realized that a lot of great men have humble spirits, but they need to rise above this sense of humility to be able to fight for the things that they believe in. So the late Rene Sagisag is a man I truly honor for the kind of humble person he truly is, but the fighter he has to be when he needs to be a fighter. I pray for his family that they may have the peace of heart during this difficult time, knowing that they had a great man for a father, a grandfather, a father-in-law, for his staff who are also here, that they worked with such an honorable man. And I pray that this will give them strength in the days and the years to come. And rest assured that we will always remember these kind of people who fight for the Filipino people. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Senator Cayetano.
Thank you, Mr. President.